Hey everyone, welcome to episode 21 of Sultans of Swap. It's a bit of a streak for us, 2 weeks in a row. I'm Brian Johnson. I'm joined as always from now sunny and beautiful Florida, Edwin Anderson. How are you, sir?
Doing great, guys. How are you?
Very good, man. Very good. From the Sports Card Investor Mansion. No video today because the mansion is full. Yanni Foosball, Johnny Hollywood, John Anthony. How are you, sir?
What up? What up?
All right, guys. We're talking before the show about Flawless. I'm in. I'm hooked. It's that LeBron sell, man. That $312,000 LeBron James 101. That is gonna get me finally into buckets. And I will admit up front that I don't know anything at all about basketball cards. And when I say I don't know anything, I watch basketball. I know who's good. But just my education level on basketball is not great. So I kind of wanted to start with you, Yanni, because you've been doing buckets for a long time. What are the big products? What should I do? What should I look for? Guide me.
Let me just give everybody a laugh. I called Karl Anthony Towns the kitty cat, and Johnson said I thought you only had a dog. I didn't know you had a cat. That's how little he knows about buckets.
That's true.
It's just unbelievable, man. The prices that basketball, nothing that I've ever seen. I mean, if you can afford it, look, flawless serial number breaks are terrific. I mean, most of us spend $20 on the lottery every week, man. This is like a lottery. You can literally hit cards that are lottery material. There was a card pulled the other night by a breaker. It was just a dual logo, man. No signatures. Shaq and Kobe. And the Shaq didn't even look like a logo, man. It was gold. I don't know what it was. I don't know if it was from a really significant jersey, if it was from like a finals jersey. I don't know what it was. Down $40,000 direct payment. Turned it down. He said it's worth more.
What's going on? I mean, why is that? Why is that the case? I mean,
well, it's the only dual.
I don't want to say there are no cards in baseball that are like that. I mean, maybe with the exception of like a 101 rookie Bowman autograph 9.5 of someone amazing. But that's got to be pretty. I mean, that doesn't sound to me as a baseball collector. I mean, if you had, a logo man of like Babe Ruth and Lou Gehrig, which that doesn't exist, I can see that maybe.
It's the point. In my opinion, Brian, it's this point of contention that you and I have had for a year now, and it's because I believe that 95% of people that open or say they collect their sports don't really collect them. They're just in it for the gamble. These basketball people, you never see these cards again. Ever. Never. They don't come out. They keep them, and these people know that if they want it, they better get it now because it will never be seen again. Think about it. That LeBron, look at this Chris Bryant. Like, would you agree? When I say modern day, I'm referencing like the last 10 years. Chris Bryant super auto from 13 draft or from 13 Bowman, which was supposed to be in,
Prospect Rush.
Right. Would you agree that that's like the epic card of like the last 10 or 15 years?
I think the Trout would be.
Okay, the Trout. Well, the Trout's still on eBay. The Trout's been on eBay forever. The Bryant's on eBay.
It's a 9, right?
But still, I mean, it's like the key card in the last 10 years in baseball cards.
Dude, I'm not trying to bust your chops.
No,
I know.
No.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. My point is, I really believe it's because these people left that the other people that are in the market to buy these cards know they're not going to see them again, so they pay through the nose because they really want these cards. They love cards. They love the hobby, and they're not going to sell their cards.
Edwin, where are you with buckets? I know you super collect Cal Ripken, but you do some other stuff. Any basketball in the repertoire?
No, I usually don't get into it. I love watching the ball getting and broke open. I mean, as you guys mentioned, I mean, it's a crazy hobby, and those collectors are nuts. even just with the flawless product that we were discussing earlier, it's just the basketball is just so outrageous. I mean, you don't see the same thing with the flawless baseball. You don't see the same thing with the flawless soccer. But that basketball is just insane. I mean, when you go out there on eBay and you see that Karl Towns, card for like $30,000, I mean, it's just crazy,
The Tony Parker that I pulled, okay, they call it a championship tag. Now, if you hear that, what comes to your mind?
You assume it's an NBA Finals jersey, laundry tag,
right? So I look at the checklist, and there's Doug McDermott and Derrick Rose, and all sorts of guys on there. And I'm like, well, what's the significance of this card? That the card was numbered to 2, but it's the first year they've ever done this particular subset. Sold for $1,100, man, off eBay.
Jesus.
$1,100 off eBay because it's the first year. And I don't. That's the only thing I can think of. They're not even really championship tags because these other players have never played in the finals.
Dougie Buckets wasn't in the
right. Jaleel Okafor not in the finals. I mean,
all right. So here's my other question. Flawless, I get. Is it a one-off? Like, is flawless a one-off?
No.
And the reason I asked that question is because, like, for me, what I kind of decided that I'm going to do is I'm going to do like patch autographs or, relic autographs of like Hall of Famers or like premium guys, right? Mm-hmm. So I look and I'm looking for Kobe Bryant, like a Kobe Bryant card, and just a regular flawless nothing on it. Just a Kobe autograph is like $400, right? And then a Kobe patch autograph, I mean, those are thousands of dollars, man. They're like $4,000, right?
Yeah.
So I go on eBay and I see that there are tons of Kobe autographs with relics and stuff on them. $100. Why is there such a big difference in price? Like, that's a pretty, 4 times the value. That's pretty significant, man.
40 times the value. If you said the relic autos are $100. Well, number one, my guess would be because it's a patch. That maybe the patches are just that difficult to come by, and they.
No, this was a Kobe auto. It was Donruss. Kobe auto. It had a piece of the jersey on it, and
sticker or on card.
It was a sticker, okay. And it was $100.
Okay, so number one, it was a sticker, and number two, was it just signed Kobe or was it signed Kobe Bryant?
I don't remember. See, this is the thing. This is what's going to kill me and why I hate.
That's a big deal.
New ventures.
Yeah.
Because is there a difference? I mean, did he sign differently?
Years and years, he only signed Kobe. If you look at all these flawless cards, he signed Kobe Bryant.
Oh, that's interesting.
Now I don't know how long he signed Kobe Bryant for because I haven't. This year in basketball in particular really opened my eyes again. I always loved basketball, but I just don't have the resources to collect more than just the things that I collect. But this is just so out of control, man. It's like I really want to do it again. Notice on these flawless cards, he signs Kobe Bryant. So I think it's a combination of the on card, the full name, and the patch. Full really nice patches. Also, you want to hear something really crazy? So the one Kobe that I pulled and it sold for $3,500. It sold. I'm not kidding you. Within 10 minutes, just to buy it now, no offer, nothing. Buy it now. The reason the guy paid so much was because it was number 8.
Oh yeah.
Well, but that's his whole jersey number.
Yeah.
That's not even 24. Apparently, the real heavy, crazy Kobe collectors, number 8. That's the.
So it's like a Griffey or Bonds type of falling relative to baseball. Now, my other question is in football, because I'm just starting to learn about football too. I noticed that Contenders are the. Would you say that Contenders is like the Bowman Chrome of football?
Yeah, I would. Absolutely. I would 100% say that. But even again, I'll say this. It's like I feel like between 5 and 7 years ago when I was still really confident that there were lots of people that collected and kept cards, the Contenders sold bigger, like way bigger. I mean, I think back to let me think, what year was it? 2006. I'll never forget Reggie Bush because I built that set with my brother. That was a set that we loved and we wanted to chase. They were the ugliest autographs. They were on these really obnoxious silver stickers, and the Reggie Bush was like $500 for the base autograph. They didn't even have variations back then.
Right. Where
you know
noticed they do that. Yeah.
They have all sorts of variations now.
So I'm going to be pretty much starting from scratch in basketball. So I think this is a good question to ask you, Edwin. If you were starting from scratch, you were me, and I know everyone's tastes are different, but now, take me out of it. But you're starting out, you're like, hey, I'm going to dedicate some money into basketball. What would your approach be?
I guess it sounds like, if
okay, good.
I don't know. I'd have to decide up front, where's my long-term going? And what you're talking about, it sounds like you want to go after, the Hall of Famers, the premium guys, so you're going after the big name guys, versus going after, like one particular player, like, hey, I'm going to go out there and I'm just going to collect Kobe Bryant cards.
Yeah, right.
You just got to kind of get a good lay of the landscape. And, some of those cards, as you mentioned, can go quite wild. And once you get a good understanding of, what the full spectrum is, then, you can kind of narrow in to what you want to do. At least that's what I would do. And, I would probably kind of target the more rare cards, the heavy hitters first, and then everything else, should be able to fall into place afterwards. But, if there's no need of, kind of going all in, and then getting down to it and not being able to get the ones that you really want, not being able to get one Kobe, one, Durant, whoever,
Sure.
So with that being said, I would probably go after the big ones first and then backfill.
Well, not that anyone cares because everyone's collecting is different, but just kind of like talking this out. One of my hesitations is it'll take away from my baseball because it's my thing, man. I collect baseball cards. Javi Baez hit a home run, and the first thing I did was buy an RPA. I looked around and I was like, there's a nice rookie patch autograph, National Treasures of Javier Baez on card auto. I wanted for my collection. I went out and bought it because I don't have any Javier Baez, and I just kind of wanted it, man. Like, that's my thing. Like, you know how I collect baseball. I try and get something of everybody. That's of any popularity. I enjoy, just Major League Baseball, all the teams, all the players, the whole thing. Basketball, and the reason I really thought of getting into it is basketball is kind of nostalgic for me, man. Like, I grew up Magic Johnson, Isaiah Thomas, Joe Dumars, Larry Bird, Michael Jordan. Like, I joke around. I'm a child of the 80s, man. Like, to me, that was like the heyday of the NBA. That's when the NBA was great. The Knicks were good, the Celtics were good, the Lakers were good. Like your big city teams, they had very popular players. And I think if I do it, like, it's funny, like a Karl Anthony Towns autograph, it could be worth $4,000 or whatever. I don't care. Like, I don't need a $4,000 Karl Anthony Towns card because it doesn't mean anything to me. Right. I would still much rather have an Isaiah Thomas that is probably, I don't know, I'd have to ask John, but I can't imagine an Isaiah Thomas is in the stratosphere of Karl Anthony Towns. And it's funny, like, when you talk about, like, relative values, I understand, like, to use a baseball reference, people love Harper and Trout and Bryant and Correa, and they should. They're great players. Like, they're the best players in the league. But I think their value relative to Ozzie Smith and Ryan Sandberg and Dave Winfield and Mike Schmidt, guys like that, it's a little out of whack for me, because, like, I don't know, maybe it's my age or whatever, but I have a hard time saying to myself, this Alex Bregman should be worth more than Ken Griffey Jr. Like, I can't wrap my brain around that. Like, if you give me a Ken Griffey Jr. patch autograph or Alex Bregman Bowman Chrome rookie card, like, it's a no-brainer. So I'm saying all this to say I don't know how I'll necessarily translate that sentiment towards basketball. I feel like it would probably be the same thing for me. Like, I'd rather have an Akeem Olajuwon than I would, Jabari Parker. I don't know.
I think your challenge is going to be, I know that you're a big fan of the game used, nasty patches, and
I am.
Switching over to basketball, you got to up the ante, and
you're saying finance wise.
Yeah, I mean, it's in a different league. I mean, it really is. I mean, you
Yeah.
know, so you go get that Durant RPA,
Yeah.
and you're in like a $4,000 or $5,000 range probably. So
Oh,
more.
dude. I don't know, man. We're talking this out. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's hard, man. Because I was talking last week. I mean, my most valuable baseball cards are, $300 to $500 range. It's not my, like, I would rather have a lot of really cool looking stuff than have a couple, multiple thousands of dollars worth of cards.
Now,
I don't know. Like, that's just my personal preference.
Let me ask you. I know everything's modern nowadays, but I mean, what's your take on vintage basketball? You don't really hear a lot about vintage basketball.
Well, I work that vintage Raz room, and
Yeah.
I find that in vintage basketball, the cards that do well are the cards that you would expect. It's very similar to like vintage football. Vintage football is very cheap. The holy grail of vintage football is probably Bart Starr, a Bart Starr rookie. You can get a nice Bart Starr rookie for $500, or 1/8 of a Karl Anthony Towns. Like, it's so weird.
Yeah.
To me, that you have a legendary card, a holy grail card, and air quote holy grail card that is worth, again, a small percentage of what these new cards are worth. I have a very hard time wrapping my brain around it.
Is this triple? Is this?
So Brian, why not shoot for the? I mean, I loved what you said about the Hall of Famers and nostalgia and all that stuff. There are sets that are just Hall of Famers. Like, I think it would be awesome rather than getting, like, put an autograph set together. Chase a patch autograph set. Like, it's going to cost you more, but maybe that's the only one that you do. Maybe your real love is baseball, but you want to do something with basketball. So you chase one really nice patch autograph set. That's
what product, Johnny?
I mean, again, that, like Edwin said, man, you're gonna have to up the ante, and if it's gonna be the only one that you do, why not make it a nice one? Like, make it.
Exactly. No, I agree there. I don't want to do it. Like, sometimes for baseball, man, I collect for the sake of collecting. Like, that's why I have such a wide variety of stuff, is because I love the designs, I love the teams, I love the players. But man, there's no realistic way, I think, in basketball that I could do that. I think it would be impossible.
Do a flawless or an NT or a noir or something like that, and or you can go real old school, man. Like, dude, do like an SP game used. Do you remember? Like, did you see in Mail Day Madness? I don't know. It might have been a few weeks ago, where a guy posted a Jordan game worn letter that he got from somebody. They're like,
Jesus.
I mean, out of SP game use. So that's an awesome set too, man. And I think you can find some subsets in there that focus primarily on Hall of Famers, and they're on card. It's an upper deck product, which, in my opinion, they were the Cadillac of cards, man. They were the nicest cards ever produced. But that's what I would do, man. I would find a set that's all Hall of Famers, like 80s, and if there's any current guys in there, just pass on them, man. Just build like a really cool 80s, early 90s, Hall of Fame collection.
Even some of those early 2000 though upper deck, I mean, it's still crazy in basketball. I don't get it, man. It's insane. Once, like there's Michael Jordan or LeBron James or anything like that. I mean, it's off the charts. Even for that stuff.
One of the things that I found funny is, because I've kind of been, trying to learn and educate myself, is it was just a Michael Jordan game used, but just plain white jersey, not graded, whatever, $100.
Yeah.
I was like,
$100. Yeah.
That doesn't even make sense.
God forbid you have one that's short printed.
Yeah, and then put an auto on it, and then you're like 20,000.
Yeah.
Yeah, your next month's salary.
I'm gonna have to really, because here's the other thing too. I mean, and Johnny knows this, but I don't know if I've ever talked about it on here. But I have a pretty strict budget that I stick to, man. Like, sometimes I go over if it's something that I really want, but like Johnny knows, man, I don't spend thousands of dollars a month on cards. Not even close. Like, you know, I do the whole thing where I try and trade up sometimes and, you know, nickel and dime, make a little bit here, make a little bit there. I don't know, man. I'm probably going to have to sell some of my baseball to pursue this. And honestly, man, I don't know if I can do that. I don't know if I got it in me to sell some of my baseball stuff to, you know, pursue it. Or it's either that, or I'm just going to have to be really patient, which I don't have a problem with either. I can, you know, spread it out, maybe buy 2 or 3 cards every month and, you know, put together a set like that. Because I think you're right, Johnny. I think that's what I might do. That was a pretty good suggestion based off of what I said, so I appreciate that, is maybe doing a set like that. Because, man, I love putting together those Strata sets. They're my favorite thing, man. Like, you can put together those Strata baseball sets. I think, you know, I spend right around $1,000 for 25 cards, which, you know, is about $40 a piece. And I know it's not going to be that in basketball, but if I could find like a nice 25 card set like that I could do for like $2,000, I might do that.
Yeah, I think it's worth it. I mean, but here's the thing, though. Just so you know, the Jordan might cost you $2,000 if you do like an upper deck set.
Yeah.
You know, but so if you, I mean, that's the other thing. Like, do you want to go upper deck where there's Jordan? Do you want to go Panini where there's no Jordan? I mean, that's the other thing.
I mean,
you have to
dude,
consider.
I think if you're gonna do it, I mean, you know me, like I want to do it right, man.
Yeah. So you got to
Like,
go upper deck, man.
Well, that's like the
SP
Strata
Gaming.
sets. I mean, they have Trout autographs and Bryant autographs, and yeah, it sucked. I mean, I don't mean it sucked. I'm happy I have them, but it sucked paying $300 a piece for those things. But, like, I knew that going in, right? Like, hey, I'm going to do this. I'm going to get most guys autographs for like 20, 30, $40. And the Trout and the Bryant, I'm going to have to pay $300 for a piece. And I was cool with that. And you know what? One of the things is, like, now I don't seek out Trout and Bryant autographs because I have those ones in my set. So, you know, I think the same thing with basketball. Like, I'm going to have to get some of the higher end guys, you know, the Birds, the Magics, the Jordans, whoever. And, you know, hopefully Sean Kemp will offset that.
Oh, Sean, don't.
I'm joking. I said Sean Kemp on purpose because I knew you were going to jump all over it.
No, Sean Kemp is a really bad example, man. You got to look at what his inserts sell for. Yo, I'm telling you, Sean Kemp has one of the most insane followings out there, man. He's big. His inserts, I don't know about his autographs, but I can tell you, his inserts, his 90s inserts, are astronomical. One of the highest out there. Take out like the super primos, he's in the conversation.
That's so funny, man.
Dude, you know what else I wanted to tell you? Do you know they do they did I want to say in 2009, you know, they did a notable nicknames basketball set, man. And before I realized how special those cards were, at least to me, I own the freaking Jerry West where he signed Mr. Clutch, man. And I sold it. And I will never be able to put that set together again because you just can't find them. Like the baseball, like I can't thank you enough, man, for bringing me that Nolan Ryan yesterday.
Yeah, sure.
That's
a pleasure.
Yeah, so it's like the fact that card's 3 years old, and it's only numbered to 10, and I was able to acquire one. Man, forget it. In buckets, forget it, man. They got 2 inches of dust. They got 2 inches of dust on them in a closet somewhere.
Yeah, well, you know, I think that's frankly one of the things that attracts me to basketball now is that there is like a hardcore collector piece to it.
Dude, I talked to a guy, okay, that I met on Facebook that's now buying into the breaks with us, and I hit a Karl Malone. And I don't think the guy's from Utah, but he's like, I collect Utah Jazz for my mom. Like, they grew up going to the Jazz games. Like, they had season tickets to the Jazz. So they're like, you know, they're really special to him. So now this guy, in addition to his PC, chases this stuff for his mom, man. Like, it's awesome. Yeah. They're really hardcore, man. They're really hardcore.
So, Edwin, are you coming on board with buckets yet or what? You going to get in or no? Cal is taking up too much.
Yeah, I'm dedicated. I'm too far down the road, man. For me to switch over to basketball or, you know, heck, anything else at that point, it'd be like jumping on a running treadmill. You know, I'm just.
Oh,
fly off.
Loosen up that wallet. Loosen up those shekels. Remortgage the house, man. Let's do a Buckets RPA set. We'll do a Sultans of Swap flawless RPA set.
Oh Jesus, dude!
But they have to be logo patches. So I figure
obviously.
we'll budget.
That
like
goes
60,
without saying, John.
Yeah, we'll budget like 60 G's for it. We'll do a couple of balance transfers, no interest for 12 months, and we'll get second and third jobs. Maybe we can start advertising on Sultans of Swap to generate the revenue.
Oh jeez. How about a GoFundMe? I like that better.
GoFundMe. Oh,
Take mercy on my soul. Help us.
I need to pay for my honeymoon. Can you please help me?
Oh, dude.
You know, I will throw this out about basketball. One thing I do like about basketball is they seem to have some really, really cool relics. I mean, they do it right when it comes to patches, when it comes to, you know, even I saw this one, it was a while back. I saw this one on eBay. It was a LeBron James, but it was like a shoe relic where it had the laces on it, you know, like just the top cut. I mean, they do some really cool stuff, and you know, I wish you could see that same level of effort in baseball sometimes. But I mean,
well, that's a great point, Edwin. Let me ask you a question. Let me pose this question.
Yeah. Do
you think it's more the manufacturer that rather than the player? Because I mean, if you watch any of the breaks now, I'm calling them napkins. They're napkins. These one color things are napkins, and the bats are coasters. I feel like we don't use the term napkin and coaster with Panini. Not nearly as much.
Yeah.
Well, in baseball...
Do you think it's the manufacturer?
Well, see, in baseball, there's a lot of Panini napkins, man.
Okay. All right, if you say so. I mean, I feel like there's way more in Topps, but since Edwin was talking about how nice the patches are, and I agree. I wonder if it's the manufacturer.
I watched a lot of Immaculate Baseball get opened. I watched a lot of National Treasure Baseball get opened. And there are your very nice ones, obviously, but there's also a ton of napkins. Though I tend to agree with you that I feel like there are much more. Like, that's the thing with Strata, man. And I know I've beat this dead horse, so forgive me. But, dude, like, I appreciate guys busting open boxes because it helps me pick out the one. It is so rare to get a nice patch in Strata. Dude, how many cases have you opened, and really, how many really actual sick patches do you pull out of there?
No, you're right. You're right.
There are so many napkins in that product. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I think that's just part of the hobby. I mean, they can't all be – because the largest part of the uniforms aren't patches.
Right.
And they're not going to – they're not – what are they going to do, toss them in the trash? I mean, that's – come on, man. That's money.
Yeah, but I don't know. I just feel like you put the napkins in Donruss Optic, put the napkins in, Top Series 1 and Series 2. Put the Primo stuff, man, in this. It doesn't even have to be the most expensive sets, man. Like, people love triple threads. They love Tier 1. They love Museum. Put them in the, it doesn't even have to be the most expensive. Put them in the sets that people love. Well,
triple threads is one of those products where they have still stuck with the numbering, meaning that in a lot of products now the numbering seems more relevant, where you could get an out of 99 with like a laundry tag on it, where I feel like triple threads still, the lower the number, the better patch. Like, it still kind of sticks to that.
Yeah, I can see that. Speaking of triple threads, did you guys see any really cool things pulled over the last couple of weeks?
I don't know about seeing pulled. I like triple threads. I do, but I own not a ton of it. Like, the triple thread stuff that I do own is like the higher end stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really, I don't know. I don't know.
It's not your thing.
Yeah, it's not really my thing.
I mean, those decas. I mean, people are going crazy over those decas.
Yeah, the decas are nice, man.
But I wonder why, though, because it's not a first-year issue. They did them last year. You know what I'm saying? Like, they are nice cards. I didn't think that they would. I didn't think they would sell like this, man. This is incredible. There's guys selling. The Mets one was like $1,000. There wasn't. I mean, it was crazy. It's unbelievable.
The other one of those triple threads, there's what are they? The triple jumbo letter booklets, the little two
Oh
books,
God,
big
I love
letter,
them.
and 2 patches. I mean, those things are really, really super slick.
Well, here, guys, for triple threads, this is a good example. I know the lighting's not great, but this is actually an older one. I believe it's from 2007, triple threads, but it's, a booklet with, multiple patches, stuff like that. Dude, you guys know I'm never the one to complain about sticker autographs. I think sticker autographs are fine. If the patch is nice enough, I don't care about a sticker on it. But man, I think triple threads really overdoes the stickers, like a lot, man. Like,
Yeah,
in the case, how many on cards are there? A couple, maybe 1 or 2.
Yeah, 2, maybe 3 if you're lucky. But that's been their. That's the funny thing, man. It's interesting. That's been their MO since the initiation of the product, which I think was 06. And then you have a product like 5-Star that comes out the week after triple threads, which, to be quite honest with you, 5-Star excites me more than triple threads because I love the on card, I love the barrels, I love the knobs, I love all that stuff. And now they did.
I'm looking up on my shelf.
No, and my
the
point
triple
is
threads that I have, and most of them
people-
are on card autos, man. Like, I seek those out intentionally. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. I'm just saying, people are still more excited about triple threads. Like, even though 5-Star's out, which to me it's cheaper, you can no question about it hit monsters.
Yeah.
And they still love triple threads, man. I don't know. For me, it's never a product that's really gotten me really excited about. But it's one of the more collected products out there every single year after year.
Well, dude, I think part of it is the sayings on them. I mean, some of them are nonsensical, like they don't even make sense. But like the ones I own are like, I have a Cobb, it's Georgia Peach.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm looking at one, it's Pirates, it's Stargell, Van Slyke and McCutcheon, Pure Steel.
Mm-hmm.
Which if you're from Pittsburgh, everyone knows that's a really big thing. So I think part of it is just I believe they're still the only product that does that.
They are. Yeah, that's a good point.
So I think that like one of my favorite Harpers is Clown Question.
Oh my God, yeah! I pulled an awesome Machado. I can't remember what it was. It was a really awesome one.
Hakuna Machado.
Yes, yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like, people are really gonna want that, man. Like, that if you're from Baltimore, Hakuna Machado, that's a pretty big deal. So I can see that. I think it's just the pure amount of stickers that drives me freaking crazy on that product.
Yeah.
And of all the triple threads I'm looking at up on my shelves and that I know I own, none of them are stickers, man.
Well, dude, you're lucky, man. You've got to think about acquiring those stickers from that product. It's like cases and cases and cases and thousands of dollars. And you were fortunate enough to be able to cherry pick the ones that were on card and that you liked.
Yeah. So, all right, man. I said
so the Eagles are in first place. They're playing
here we
today.
go.
They spanked the Steelers their last game out. They're coming off of a bye. They should
roll
roll right.
Johnny.
They're in the Motor City. They should roll right through Detroit.
Jesus.
They should run them right over.
No, hear me out. I think the Lions are going to win that game. I really do.
It wouldn't surprise. I mean, as an Eagles fan, it wouldn't surprise me, man.
What's the spread on that game?
I don't know, like 2.5. That's how the NFL works, man.
Are the Eagles favored in Detroit?
Yeah.
By 2.5?
Yeah, it's a good setup, man. The Lions just lost at the Bears. The Eagles just beat the Steelers by 30. The Eagles are going to Detroit, and that's just how the NFL is.
So you're saying all this. You know where I was. Edwin knows where I was going. I wanted to place a small wager on that game.
I don't gamble.
You don't gamble. Your whole life is gambling. You gamble every day, Johnny.
I guess you could say if living life is a gamble, then yeah.
You're an entrepreneur. You put yourself out there. You take risk. You're a gambling man. This shocks me.
Don't take the bait.
No, I'm not. This guy.
Peer pressure.
He's not getting me to incriminate myself on something that's recorded on the internet. My own lawyer's throwing me under the bus here. This is crazy.
Dude, there's 100% chance you have a bookie. That's all I'm saying. He's got a 100%. Name. His name is probably like the Hammer, or like
And three-fingered Lou knocks on the door on Thursday
three-fingered
morning.
Lou. It's like three-fingered Lou. It's not three-fingered Lou, but it's like three-fingered Lou.
Yeah. Like Tommy
Vinny the
Tomato.
Hammer or Joey the Hammer, something like that.
Yeah, Tommy Tomatoes or something like that.
Tommy Tomatoes is better. He's much better at this than me.
Yeah.
Because they're actual people. I guarantee you Tommy Tomatoes is a real person.
That's sitting down right now, having his coffee, answering the phone, giving the lines out.
Yeah, just taking in calls. Tommy Tomatoes is taking it in right now.
Yeah. And it's
all done.
It's like it's a switchboard. He answers the phone and says, "Hold, please."
Hold, yes.
He's on a switchboard. "Hold, please." You're like, "Hold, please." Right. It's friggin' 10 o'clock.
Tommy Tomatoes, man. I love it. I love it.
All right, fellas. Well, thank you so much for the episode. Really appreciate it. This was a good one.
Yeah, man. I enjoyed it. Buckets. It's going to be buckets for a while, man. I think Flawless, it never stops until they're out.
$40,000 and the guy turned it down. You want me to tell you what the next major chase card is? The next major chase card is that Kobe championship tag because neither one of the two have been pulled and neither of the autos have been pulled. If that card surfaces, man, watch out.
Kobe championship tag. Well, what happened with Ben Simmons not signing?
He signed with Upper Deck. Yeah, he signed with Upper Deck, and the number one pick in hockey signed with Leaf. So neither one of the number one picks and basketball will have licensed autographs next year.
It's odd.
Look, I guess it's about the money, but
yeah,
I can't imagine that these other companies are offering more money than say Panini or would. I don't know. They're flush with cash.
Edwin, you saved rounds over there?
No, I'm just Cowboys play the Bengals today, so
the Bengals. Are they in Dallas or are they in Cincinnati?
I think they're in Cincinnati, right?
No, they're in Dallas. Tommy Tomatoes just sent me. He just sent me a telepathic
Tommy
message.
Tomatoes just sent it. Yeah,
you
don't gamble, but you know who's home and away right off the top of your head.
I was watching fantasy sports this morning, man. I was watching ESPN.
Throwing lines out there. I think it's 2.5. He doesn't say 3. He doesn't say 2. It's 2.5. That's your line over there, Mr. No Gamble, Tommy Tomatoes.
And and the Bengals are favored in Dallas. So interpret that how you may.
That's interesting. Yeah. The Bengals are favored in Dallas. I don't know about that, man.
Wow.
Dude, I got to tell you, man, Dallas, as much as I detest them, God, they're set up really well for the future. They're really set up well.
Hell, I think they're set up good for right now, man.
Dude, I don't know, man. I think that I want to see how Prescott and Wentz, both of them. I want to see what they do in like a 3-point fourth quarter game, one way or the other. Wentz has it really good because that defense is it's ferocious, and it's a lot easier for a guy, especially a young kid, to play with a lead. Prescott, he has the benefit of one of the best offensive lines ever assembled in the NFL, ever. And the crazy part about the Cowboys' success, and Prescott for that matter, is that he's not even force-feeding Des Bryant. He's spreading the ball around, he's dinking and donking, and it's working, and he's not turning the ball over. He's making really good decisions. I need
a hot take real quick from a Cowboy fan on when Romo comes back. Is he in or Prescott stays in, Edwin?
I think they're probably going to put Romo back in. That's my take.
Yeah, I agree. I think so too. Yeah. Yanni, do you stick with Prescott or do you bring Romo back in?
100%. Tony Clipboards is he's standing on the sideline holding that clipboard with the earpiece in, telling the kid what to audible to.
Wow.
Sit down, Tone. Pull up a seat next to me.
I love it. Hot take Yanni foosball. Sticking with Prescott. I like it, man. I love it.
Got to, man. Dual threat. Look, Romo got hit in the back, man. The dude's on a stretcher. Not for nothing. Not even for the Cowboys' sake. Tony Romo shouldn't come back, man. This guy is like, this guy steps the wrong way and something breaks.
He's oh my God. I love this argument.
What?
He's missed some time in the last 2 years. Fair enough. But
Brian,
the guy was an Iron Man.
Stop. The guy plays hurt. I mean, look, who knows what kind of injuries these guys have played with. This guy's had surgery. I think he's had 2 surgeries, right? Has he had 2 major injuries? In a game like that with all that impact, I don't know, man. Just if it were me, I got enough money, I'm cool, man. I'll stand on the sideline, I'll hold that clipboard, I'll smile, I'll tell the kid what to do, and I'll collect my paycheck. As long as I'm active, I'm getting paid, so I'm good.
Well,
and he can't win. It's proven the guy can't win. Right, so
oh my God, dude, come on.
What? Come on, what? Come on, what? The guy can't win. He couldn't even catch a snap in Seattle to win a game. That bum.
You kill me.
Guy couldn't even catch a snap. That's how scared he was. He was shaking like a leaf.
I'm laughing because, people love Eli Manning, right? 2 Super Bowls, 2 Super Bowl MVPs. There's no doubt in my mind Tony Romo is a much better quarterback than Eli Manning. Like, that's why I'm saying sometimes life's not fair, right? Because
I guess would you say Dan Marino's a better quarterback than Joe Montana? I mean, he's got better stats. He had a bigger arm. He had video. This guy was putting up video game numbers when video games didn't exist.
I don't know, man. I think if Marino played in San Francisco and had Rice and Roger Craig and Rathman and that offensive line and Charles Haley and all the great players that San Francisco had, I think people would talk about Marino like Montana.
Yeah, but Tommy Two Guns has Wes Welker and Deion Branch. That's what Tommy Two Guns was winning Super Bowls with.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I don't know. I think Brady's a particularly rare case, but if you put Tony Romo on the Patriots, Tony Romo has 3 Super Bowls.
Look, you can say that just based on his talent level and what he's been able to accomplish, but man, I'm telling you, man. It's a different level of pressure when you get into that fourth quarter, when it comes down to the big game. If anybody that's played sports knows, man, if you played in high school, collegiately, whatever, you know that there's just some guys that they're scared to death. Get scared to death and they can't perform. We'll never know because we're not in the locker room, but I think so, Bryant.
Tony Romo has, I know this, guys.
I know he's got the highest fourth-quarter quarterback rating on the planet.
You've heard this 1,000 times, whatever.
Here we go.
It's just the Romo bashing is unbelievable. All right, guys, I do have to go. So I'm going to say this. Check us out on YouTube. We're still on YouTube. We're still on Twitter. We're still on Facebook.
Switch.
We're not on Tinder. We're not on Twitch. We're not on Periscope.
Oh.
I don't think we're on any of those things, but
are we on Match.com?
I think we should be on Match.com.
Wow. I'm kind of scared to see what we would be matched up with.
I saw an advertisement for it on TV, and it's social media and apps and all these things with computers and phones. I thought we might have been there. All right.
No, man. But I do appreciate everybody checking us out. I get my notifications on Facebook all the time of, new viewers coming on and people joining. I really appreciate it. So for Edwin Anderson and Johnny Tomatoes, thank you guys. Really appreciate it.
Later, guys.